This may be crazy, but the number one thing that our current practices have completely denied is human nature. When it comes to highway safety, the prior practice was to observe what the people were doing. Most people are reasonable when they go about their day and safe. They don't want to be involved in an accident. So as people go about their day and the engineers observed what they were doing, they would put a device up and see what the response was, see what the response time was, to see what they did. And so the entire nexus of prior practice to the repeal of the national speed limit was to observe human nature, to make sure that the safety of the roadway is designed to accommodate that and regulate that, and make sure that whatever the people had found safe for conditions was accommodated. And if there was a hazard there, to post for it so they would be made aware and not use just the posted speed, but to use actual warnings in case of a hazard approaching to notify them of a change, be it a school zone, be it a curve, be it a crest in a hill, an intersection, anything else. Now they're using speed limits in intersections that are completely ignored with no advance warning. In fact, if you're going to do a speed reduction, you need to put a sign, an orange sign, to indicate that there's something different coming ahead. You go from one expectation, whatever the posted speed is. Think of it this way. If you have a posted speed and you know that that speed is what the engineers have found best for that town, and that's a guidance for what they have found for you to safely drive through that town in a reasonable manner, and you put that up, you'll get a lot more compliance than a speed limit sign that says, well, that's a sign we've completely ignored for 100 years and it means nothing, and someone put it up and they have no reason to put it up, they just put it up. One of the areas that I see speed limit signs constantly, where it's a misinterpretation of the object of the exercise. When you go down a highway, the most dangerous places on the highway where people are getting off, entry and exit conversion zone. And the cause of that is the particular exit is not designed to handle the demand, so the excess demand stacks up on the highway. To fight that, you go in, you fix the off-ramp to make sure it can handle the capacity of the demand. Or, one of the new things has been to put variable speed limits up to control the speed of traffic. Well, putting a speed limit sign up that is historically ignored is the following. If you put up a posted number and said this number, if you follow it, will help us clear the intersection blockage ahead to maintain the flow of the highway, you would probably get better compliance because then the motorists would know what they're attempting to do. And they know the reason for it. So the posted speed on a variable speed road would be, if you slow down to this speed, we can maintain flow to an optimum amount, and that allows to clear the conflict zones that are causing problems with the highway. It's kind of like a inverse version of what you do on camera entrances onto a highway. You regulate the entrances on a camera to a highway, or on a red light to a highway, to make sure the traffic can blend into the flow without disrupting the flow. Well, the variable speed limit is the inverse of that. They're trying to regulate the flow down to a regulation where they could maximize flow to make sure when the conflict points are there, they could be minimized, therefore maintaining flow to flow more cars over time. The same thing in snow zones, or the same thing in a million different scenarios. If you give a different definition to the object of the exercise, and if the people know what the object of the exercise is, they're more likely to conform. But causing an enforcement thing that you're never going to enforce because you don't want to pull people under that kind of heavy traffic over on the side of the road, which exacerbates any safety problems. But it would work better for you. But it's a complete misapplication. I'm just saying that I believe that human nature, given proper guidance and understanding what the object exercise is, you'd get safer roads, better compliance, and you wouldn't have a problem.